Sinners just won 13 NAACP Image Awards. Then it went to the Actor Awards tonight and won Best Actor and Best Ensemble. That is 15 major trophies in one weekend from two different shows. And everyone is talking about Michael B. Jordan. Everyone is talking about Delroy Lindo. Everyone is talking about the cast, the performances, the speeches, but the man who wrote every single word of that script, who directed every single frame of that film, who negotiated an unprecedented deal with Warner Brothers to own that movie back in 25 years, who pulled every single element of that world together from his own family's history and his late uncle's record collection. Ryan Coogler is standing in the background. Again, like he always does, and I am done with it. We are talking about Ryan Coogler today, all of it, from the beginning. Because this man is one of the greatest filmmakers working in Hollywood right now, and half the internet still does not fully understand what he has actually done. Let us fix that right now. Okay, 3 things you're going to find out in this video. Number 1, the full Ryan Coogler story, from a football scholarship in California to the Spike Lee of the East Bay to the first Black director in Marvel history. Because if you only know him from Black Panther, you are missing the deepest part of this story. Number 2, the specific things Coogler did on Sinners that nobody else in Hollywood would have done. The ownership deal, the IMAX sequences, the blues music as a narrative weapon. The personal grief that went into every single page of that screenplay. And number 3, the most important thing Ryan Coogler said in a recent interview that made the entire awards season conversation stop. Because he said something about what an Oscar win would mean to him that is unlike anything any director has ever said about an award. If you are not subscribed to this channel, yet hit that button right now. Okay, let us start from the very beginning. Ryan Kyle Coogler was born on May 23, 1986 in Oakland, California. And the first thing you need to understand about him is that he was not supposed to be a filmmaker. He was on a football scholarship. That was the path. Athletics. He was good enough at football to get a scholarship to St. Mary's College of California, and that was where his life was supposed to go. And then his creative writing professor read his first assignment and told him, "You need to look into writing screenplays." He shrugged it off at first. He said, "Why not?" And that one moment, that one professor who saw something in one assignment changed the entire trajectory of American cinema. He transferred to the USC School of Cinematic Arts, one of the most prestigious film programs in the world. And before he even graduated, the Oakland newspaper already knew what he was. They called him the Spike Lee of the East Bay. Not after his first film, not after his first success, before any of it. Because even in his student films, people could see it. They could see the voice, the specificity, the love for community, and then came Fruitvale Station in 2013, a film about the last day of Oscar Grant's life. A 22-year-old Black man shot and killed by BART police on New Year's Day 2009. Coogler made that film for almost nothing. He shot it independently. He brought in Michael B. Jordan to play Oscar Grant, and the film premiered at Sundance and won both the Grand Jury Prize and the Audience Award on the same day. In the same ceremony, he was 26 years old. That film did not just launch his career. It announced to everyone paying attention that Ryan Coogler was playing a different game than everyone else. He was not interested in spectacle for spectacle's sake. He was not interested in entertainment as distraction. Every single frame he put on screen had to mean something, had to come from somewhere real, had to say something true about people who were not being seen by Hollywood. But wait, because the Fruitvale Station story has a piece to it that most people do not know. And it is the piece that explains everything about how Sinners got made. Stay with me. While Ryan Coogler was in post-production on Creed, his 2015 Rocky spinoff, his uncle was diagnosed with terminal cancer. His uncle, the man who introduced him to blues music, the man who had a record collection that Coogler grew up studying like a religion, the man who first played him the music that would become the heartbeat of Sinners. His uncle died while Coogler was still editing Creed, and Coogler carried that grief for almost a decade. He carried it through Black Panther. He carried it through Wakanda Forever. He carried it through producing Judas and the Black Messiah and mentoring other filmmakers and building his production company, Proximity Media. And then one day, he sat down and started writing the screenplay for what would become Sinners, and he poured all of it in. The blues, the Mississippi Delta, his grandfather's experiences growing up in the Jim Crow South, his uncle's record collection, the idea that Black joy, specifically Black music, was both the most powerful thing his people had and the most dangerous thing they had. Because the same thing that gave them life was the thing that made them a target. He told Variety recently, "My mission every time I pick up a camera is to know that the only reason I have this job is because we are basically all the same in different circumstances." Think about that philosophy. Every film he makes starts from the same question. What if this was you? What if you were the sharecropper in 1930s Mississippi with a few hours of release on Friday and Saturday night? What if you had the same hopes and dreams and desires as everyone else, but the entire weight of this country was pressing down on you? That is not filmmaking as entertainment. That is filmmaking as empathy. And nobody in Hollywood is doing it the way Ryan Coogler does it. Okay, I need you to focus right now because this next part is the stuff that the industry is talking about, but regular audiences have no idea about. And it changes how you see this film completely. Ryan Coogler did not just make Sinners. He negotiated a deal with Warner Brothers that has never been done before in modern Hollywood. He secured full ownership reversion rights. 25 years after the film's release, Sinners comes back to Ryan Coogler. Not to the studio, not to the distributor, to him. Every future licensing deal, every royalty, every potential sequel, every streaming deal renewal, every anniversary theatrical release. In 25 years, Ryan Coogler will own Sinners the way he owns his own name. He told reporters he was inspired by the film's own themes of Black ownership and family legacy. He said his grandfather's experiences in Mississippi, being a Black man who worked and built and created but never truly owned anything, informed why he fought so hard for that clause. He used the movie he was making about Black ownership to negotiate his own ownership, while making the movie about ownership. That is not just smart. That is the most intentional creative business decision any filmmaker has made in decades. And Ava DuVernay, Spike Lee, Barry Jenkins, every Black filmmaker who comes after Coogler is going to be able to point to that contract as proof that it can be done. And then on top of the ownership deal, Coogler shot Sinners in IMAX. About 20% of the film was shot with IMAX cameras using the same Panavision lenses that were custom designed for Christopher Nolan on Oppenheimer. He hired cinematographer Autumn Durald Arkapaw, who delivered one of the most visually stunning films of the year. And tonight at the NAACP Image Awards last weekend, she won Outstanding Cinematography for her work, rightfully. Now here is the most extraordinary thing that happened this weekend, and it happened tonight at the Actor Awards. Ryan Coogler is now officially the first director in history to lead 2 different cast ensembles to Actor Award victories. He won it in 2018 with Black Panther. He won it again tonight with Sinners. Nobody has ever done that. In 32 years of the Actor Awards, nobody. And he was not even on that stage to accept it. He let his cast have the moment. Delroy Lindo accepted on behalf of the Sinners ensemble and called the project anointed. He said the cast was anointed to be part of this incredible journey created by the genius Ryan Coogler. The genius Ryan Coogler. From his cast, from the people who were there every day on that set. That is not PR. That is testimony. Now let's talk about the Oscars. Because this is where the conversation gets both exciting and painful at the same time. Sinners has 16 Oscar nominations. 16. That is a record for a film directed by a Black filmmaker, ever, in the entire 97-year history of the Academy Awards. Ryan Coogler is nominated for Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best Picture as a Producer. He is the 7th Black filmmaker ever nominated for Best Director after John Singleton, Lee Daniels, Steve McQueen, Barry Jenkins, Jordan Peele, and Spike Lee. 6 nominees. In nearly 100 years of Oscar history, 6 Black directors have ever been nominated for Best Director, and none of them have ever won. Not one. A Black filmmaker has never won Best Director at the Academy Awards in 97 years. Now Coogler knows this. He knows exactly what the statistics say. And when Variety asked him what a win would mean, he paused. And then he said something that I think is the most honest and the most heartbreaking thing any Oscar nominee has said this entire season. He said, "My award is the opportunity to have this job. The opportunity to go write a script, get a crew together, hire union jobs, contribute to people's health care, insurance, and their families." He said the biggest danger is that statistics like this can dampen your hope, make you disillusioned, make you feel like what you do is not worth it. And he said, "I try to protect my love for what I do. If I know statistics are going to make me feel sad, I do not think about them. He is protecting his love for filmmaking from the weight of a history that has never fully acknowledged him. And he is still in that building, still making the films, still fighting for the deal, still showing up. That is not just dedication. That is resilience at a level most of us will never understand. Here is my hot take, and I am fully prepared to defend this in the comments. Ryan Coogler winning Best Director at the Oscars on March 22nd would not just be a win for him. It would be a 97-year overdue correction from an institution that has consistently failed to put the statuette in the hands of the people who have used it to push cinema forward in the most meaningful ways. John Singleton was 24 years old and made Boys in the Hood and did not win. Steve McQueen made 12 Years a Slave, a Best Picture winner, and did not win Best Director. Barry Jenkins made Moonlight and did not win Best Director. Ryan Coogler made a film that broke records, broke barriers, negotiated a deal that rewrote studio history, and won 15 trophies in a single weekend from 2 different ceremonies. And Paul Thomas Anderson, who is also extraordinary, lost the Actor Awards Best Ensemble tonight to Sinners. After winning the DGA, after winning the BAFTA, the Academy still leans toward PTA. But here's the thing about this moment that matters more than who wins. Ryan Coogler already said it himself. His award is the opportunity to have this job. He wakes up every day and gets to do the thing he loves. He gets to tell the stories that nobody else is telling the way he tells them. The Oscar would be beautiful. It would be historic. It would be 97 years in the making. But Ryan Coogler's legacy is already permanent, with or without it. Comment below right now. Do you think Ryan Coogler wins Best Director on March 22nd, or does the Academy go with Paul Thomas Anderson again? And more importantly, do you think he gets enough credit for what he has built? Because I genuinely want to know if people see what I see when I look at this man's career. Drop it in the comments. I am reading every single one. All right, let us close this out. 3 things to take away. 1. Ryan Coogler is the first director in the history of the Actor Awards to lead 2 different cast ensembles to victory. Black Panther in 2018, Sinners tonight. Nobody has ever done that before. Nobody. 2. He wrote Sinners from his late uncle's record collection and his grandfather's Mississippi memories. He negotiated an ownership deal that no Black filmmaker had ever gotten before. He shot it in IMAX, and he let his cast take every stage while he stood in the background. 3. He is the 7th Black filmmaker ever nominated for Best Director in 97 years of Oscar history. None of them have ever won. March 22nd is 20 days away, and what happens that night is going to say something about this industry that words cannot fully capture. My next video is a full Oscar predictions breakdown for every major category after this weekend's sweeping results. That one goes up this week. Subscribe right now and hit the bell. You do not want to miss a single second of how this story ends. I will see you in the next one.